A series of explosions filled the view from the bridge of my cruiser, painting the stellar horizon with fiery streaks. Wreckage floated through the vacuum, their crews frozen in the void, forgotten by time. The aftermath of the brutal railgun bombardment left only salvage and corpses behind. Yet there was a strange serenity in the battle. Humankind was on the brink of defeat, and my fleet had cornered them at the dwarf planet Pluto, where they were making a final, desperate stand. Suddenly, my monitor came to life with an incoming transmission. The screen displayed turquoise letters, accept or deny. Confused, I answered. The pixels resolved into the image of an elderly human with graying hair and wrinkled skin. Greetings, I am Commodore Duncan Blade of Stellar Fleet Command. We are prepared to accept your unconditional surrender, he said, his voice deep and dry, his expression stoic. My blood boiled at the insult. How dare they suggest a Grand Admiral of the Imperial Navy surrender to a lowly Commodore? What is the meaning of this? I yelled, my rage barely contained. I understand your species values honor, the man replied calmly. However, we have a Dreadnought. This is your only chance to surrender. His face remained impassive as if my outburst meant nothing. What's a Dreadnought? I asked, incredulous. The name means fear nothing, but it will give you something to fear, he replied. I thought better of your intelligence agencies. Scare tactics don't work on the Zepping species. Okay then. We warned you. If you're lucky, you'll get a second chance. With that, the transmission ended abruptly. The battle raged on as we pushed the human destroyers back, forcing them to retreat in good order. Suddenly, my radar operator screamed in panic, "Sir, breach echoes at 10 o'clock. The biggest I've ever seen." A rift in spacetime clawed its way into existence, orange light spilling through as a massive warship over 1.2 kilometers long emerged. Its arsenal included a railgun so large that some of our smaller ships could fit inside its barrel. It was an engineering marvel capable of biblical destruction. Another transmission appeared on my screen. I accepted it without hesitation. Do you change your mind? Commodore Blade asked smugly. Yes, please spare us, I begged. You're in luck. I'm detaching Marines to commandeer your vessels. Do not resist. 1 year later, in a high-security lunar prison, Commodore Blade visited me. Hello, Grand Admiral Septing Jared, he said smugly. A year ago you said your species wouldn't fall for scare tactics. You were wrong. In what way? I retorted. You had the biggest ship in the galaxy, and I was staring down its barrel. Of course I surrendered, I said. That ship wasn't real, he replied. It was a metal shell made of melted scrap, powered by recycled engines. It had no weaponry or crew. A sense of relief washed over him as if a burden had been lifted. You're lying. We detected 50,000 life signatures. I shouted. They were just mice in breathable boxes, he said, showing me the schematic of the Dreadnought. I examined it and saw that he hadn't lied. The colossal steel beast was a hollow shell with only equipment to keep the engines running and compartments for the rodents. My face reddened with fury. I had lost the war and the pride of our navy to a metal box. Where is your honor? I yelled. All warfare is based on deception, he replied coldly. Only then did I see the massive flaws in my culture. Commodore Blade's cold expression never wavered. Your culture values honor above all else, but you failed to see that honor in war can be a weakness. We exploited that weakness. I was silent, grappling with the enormity of my failure. The realization that our rigid adherence to honor had led to our downfall was a bitter pill to swallow. We were outmaneuvered, not by strength but by cunning. I admitted, the weight of my words heavy on my tongue. Your defeat was not just military, it was a defeat of ideology. The moment you underestimated the value of deception, you were destined to lose, Blade said. I looked around the stark prison cell, the walls closing in with the suffocating weight of my disgrace. What will become of my people? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. They will be integrated into the Stellar Fleet's jurisdiction. Those willing to adapt will find new roles within our combined societies. Resistance will be met with firm but fair measures, Blade replied. And what of me? I met his gaze, searching for any sign of leniency. You will remain here under high security. You have valuable knowledge, and while you're a prisoner, you're also a potential resource. But never forget, Grand Admiral, that you're here because of your own choices. Blade turned to leave, pausing at the door. Your people can learn from this, Septing. Perhaps this is the beginning of a new era for the Zepping, one where honor and wisdom coexist. As the door closed behind him, I was left alone with my thoughts. The weight of my defeat was crushing, but there was a glimmer of hope in Blade's words. Maybe, just maybe, my people could rise from this humiliation stronger and wiser. In the days that followed, I reflected on our history and culture. I began to understand that rigid adherence to any single ideology, even one as noble as honor, could be blinding. The Zepping had to evolve to incorporate flexibility and adaptability into our identity. Months passed, and slowly news trickled in of the Zepping people finding their place within the broader stellar fleet. They were learning, adapting, and even thriving in new roles. The integration was not without its challenges, but it was progress. One day, I received an unexpected visitor. A young Zepping officer, newly integrated into the fleet, stood before me. Grand Admiral Septing, I've been assigned as your liaison, she said, her voice steady. I'm here to learn from you and to help bridge the gap between our people and the fleet. I saw in her eyes a blend of honor and pragmatism. It was a sign that our culture was indeed evolving. Very well, I said, a faint smile touching my lips. Let us begin. As I shared my knowledge and experiences with her, I realized that this was my new purpose, not as a warrior bound by outdated ideals, but as a mentor helping to forge a new path for the Zepping. And so, in the depths of that high-security prison, a new chapter for my people began, one built on the lessons of the past, the strength of honor, and the wisdom of adaptability. As the days turned into weeks, my conversations with the young officer, Lieutenant Zara, became more profound and insightful. She was eager to learn, asking questions that challenged my long-held beliefs and forced me to reconsider the principles I once thought unshakable. Grand Admiral, Zara began one day, how do we balance our respect for honor with the necessity of adaptation and deception in warfare? I pondered her question, the weight of it pressing upon me. Honor is not merely about adherence to tradition, Lieutenant. It is about integrity, courage, and the pursuit of what is right. In warfare, deception can be a tool not for dishonor, but for protecting our people and achieving a just outcome. Zara nodded, absorbing my words. So honor can coexist with strategy and cunning? Yes, I affirmed. Honor must evolve. It must encompass wisdom, flexibility, and the ability to see beyond the immediate to the greater good. As Zara and I continued our discussions, the news from outside grew more promising. The Zepping were not only integrating but also contributing significantly to the fleet's operations. Our unique strengths were being recognized and utilized, and our people were forging new alliances and friendships. One evening, a message arrived from Commodore Blade. Grand Admiral Septing, I would like to invite you to a council meeting on the lunar base. Your insights and experience are valuable, and I believe you have much to offer. The invitation was unexpected, yet it felt like a natural progression of my journey. I accepted and soon found myself aboard a transport vessel heading to the lunar base. The journey was surreal, a blend of familiar and alien experiences. As I stepped into the heart of what was once my enemy's stronghold, I found myself at a council meeting attended by representatives from various species within the stellar fleet. Commodore Blade greeted me warmly, his demeanor professional but respectful. Welcome, Grand Admiral. We are honored to have you here. Thank you, Commodore, I replied, my voice steady. It is an honor to be here and to contribute to our shared future. The meeting was a revelation. Discussions ranged from strategic planning to cultural exchanges, highlighting the importance of unity and collaboration. My input was sought and valued, and I found myself respected not as a defeated enemy, but as a valuable ally. During a break in the proceedings, I found myself in a quiet corner with Commodore Blade. "You were right," I admitted. "Deception has its place, but it must be wielded with wisdom and integrity." Blade smiled, a rare expression on his usually stoic face. "You've come a long way, Septing. The Zepping have much to offer, and I believe together we can achieve great things." As the meeting concluded and I prepared to return to my cell, Blade approached me with a proposition. "Your insights and experience are too valuable to be confined. I propose a new role for you as a strategic advisor to the fleet. You would have more freedom, and your contributions could shape our future." I considered his offer, the weight of it heavy with both responsibility and opportunity. "I accept," I said finally. "It is time for a new chapter, not just for me, but for my people." Back in my cell, now more a temporary quarters than a prison, I reflected on the journey that had brought me here. From a grand admiral bound by rigid honor to a strategic advisor embracing adaptability and wisdom, my transformation mirrored that of the Zepping. In the days that followed, I worked closely with Fleet Command, developing strategies and fostering unity. Zara continued to visit, her questions and insights a constant reminder of the bright future ahead. The Zepping had found their place within the Stellar Fleet, not as conquered, but as partners. Our honor remained intact, but it had evolved, incorporating the lessons learned through hardship and adaptation. And so, from the depths of defeat, we rose, a new, stronger, and wiser people. Our future was no longer bound by the past, but shaped by the limitless possibilities of unity and collaboration. The journey was far from over, but we faced it with hope and determination, ready to forge a destiny worthy of the honor we cherished.